welcome to Focus on Liberia. Thank you for joining us. Tonight, as I said, we have traditional Liberian artist Miss Menneh with us. Today, we will be talking about her music, her career, her artistry. Um, so, thank you for joining us. And I am your host, Danielle Knuckles, normally in the co host capacity, but today I'm here as a host. You will see Dennis later on, but thanks for joining us. All right, so just to tell you a little bit about our guest, Miss Menneh is a passionate, soulful, African international female artist, Liberian to be specific, who takes listeners on a journey through a musical world where freedom and joy balance sorrow and injustice. Her lyrics, reflective of her African roots, embrace the essence of traditional and cultural life in Liberia and African perspective. She hit the musical scene back in 2012 and has been going strong since. Miss Menneh is very active in the African and Liberian communities, both as an artist and a role model. So we wish to welcome Miss Menneh. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me here. I'm very humble and honored to be on Focus on Liberia today.
Awesome. So let's jump right into it. Miss Menneh, so where were you born and where did you grow up? Just to tell our audience a little bit about who you are and your background.
Well, I was born in Banga, Bon County, that's in Liberia, and I partially grew up in Banga, of course, and a little bit of my time in Danane, and then back to Banga. So I grew up in Banga for the most part.
Okay, awesome. And so when did you come to the US?
I've been here since '05.
Okay. And
Yeah.
so in your music, sometimes you speak in your dialect, what like we heard in the song just now, Best of Nimba. When did you learn it and how were you able to not lose it? And are you, yeah,
Yeah,
sorry.
well, growing up, I was one kid that loved going back to the village to visit, grandparents or family members. We'll go doing breaks and things like that. And then, of course, during the war, um, we we were in the bushes, and you know, I just started picking up from everyone else. I would go like when the kids are outside playing in the moonlight, I would go there, listen to the songs, and that's how I started speaking the dialect and things like that. And I was very determined to learn it because I'm like, this is my root and I love it. I just love that I was able to, speak different dialects, and
Okay.
I thought that was amazing.
And so what are the different dialects that you speak?
Well, right now I can only speak two of it very well, which is the Mana and Kwere.
Okay.
Um, Loma was the first one that I knew how to speak, but I can't speak it right now. I can understand a little bit of it. So I would say Mano and Kwere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And so when and where did your love of music begin?
Oh boy. Well, since I know myself, honestly, that's all I ever done. So I went from a kid being in Sunday school in a kid choir, like, and then I remember joining a junior choir, and then I was old enough to join the actual choir in the church. I became a choir director and all that, and
Oh,
then so on and so on. So as long as I've been knowing myself, I just always loved music. I wasn't a kid that said anything much, but I would speak my mind through music. So that's how, and I never thought about doing anything else. It was just always music. Yeah.
beautiful. So, what inspires your music and what do you hope to communicate or what do you hope is felt through your music?
Um, I like to tell stories and also speak on our day-to-day life activities. And I like to create awareness through my music, because like I said, that's how I speak to the people around me. If you listen to most of my music, I'm always sending out messages that I really want to put out there. So I just get inspired by everything that goes on around me every day.
Wonderful. And at a time when a lot of young artists want to westernize their music, Americanize it, modernize it, why did you decide that you wanted to go back and do traditional music?
I love the African culture so much. I just I feel like the entire world should know that, we sing in our dialect and it's beautiful, and we have our different drum sound and it's beautiful, our attire, our beads and all that stuff. So that's just my way of putting it out there to the rest of the world. Like, look at us. This is what we are, and it's unique, you know. So, and that's why I chose to do that.
Okay. So, who were some of the musicians or artists that you looked up to growing up, and even maybe?
Growing up, I always loved Sis Fatu Differ up to present. She's like my biggest role model. Sis ZTT, and then later on down the line, I started listening to Myron Cassette. So those are the artists that I inspire me. When I started trying to leave all this choir thing and band and to do music on my own, those are the artists that I was looking up to.
Okay. And on our show in May, we had Fatu Gayfo on the show, and she gave you your flowers while you're still living. She said that you were the artist to look to carry the torch for traditional music. So, how did that feel hearing that? What did that mean to you?
That's huge, coming from her. Oh boy, that is really huge, because she's someone that I feel like she took traditional music to a whole nother level. And to hear her say that just means a lot to me.
Mm, wonderful.
Yeah.
And so you recently debuted a refix to Professor Jones Doko's hit song, Sweet Cassava Leaf. So tell us exactly what is a refix, and why is it a refix, not a remix? And how was the collaboration with Professor Doko? Did you get his permission? How did that happen?
Yeah, so like for me, when I'm a different kind of artist. I don't, like I say, I look for stories. I'm not an artist that want to do song um to have a whole bunch of people out there that just know who Miss Menneh is and for the fame. That's not why I do music. So I just want our story to be told. That is really my focus. So when I think about doing collaboration, I think of people like Professor Jones Dopo, like Sis Fatu, um, Sis Hawa, Destiny Moore. I don't want to say her name wrong. So those are the kind of artists. Even if I cross over, go to like Guinea, I think about someone like Seni. So people that will be able to tell our African story, those are the kind of artists I look for to collaborate with. So when I met Professor June Stopo, um, I was just really inspired by him, by the way he taught me in school a
Oh,
little bit. And he always just tells stories. He is like a walking um history. Like he would tell you these beautiful stories about Liberia, and I just like to be around him. So when I met him, I started, calling him, and I talked to him that I wanted to work with him. and he was very excited. He was like, coming back to me, that just, something. So we started talking, and the song Cassava Leaf, he even signed that over to me. So he gave me all rights to the
Oh,
Cassava Leaf song and so many more of his songs. He gave me the right to them. He said he loved what I do, and he just inspired by that also. So I was like, but then since I got the song, let's redo it, and he was just excited. And in studio, it was crazy. It was a very good experience that I can never trade for anything.
mm. Oh, so you recorded this song in Liberia.
Yes.
Okay, so it wasn't you mixed some, some parts that he recorded with some parts you
No,
recorded here in
we
the US.
we we were in studio together. We did the song in studio together. When I got back, something, with the producer didn't go right, so we have to redo with another producer. That's then when we have to exchange all that stuff. And the video, I was in Liberia. We did a video there together also.
Okay.
Yeah. So every time I go back, I make sure I see him
Mhm.
and we talk and hang out.
Oh, that's wonderful for him to sign over the rights to his music to you.
Yeah.
So that was an honor.
Yeah. Yeah. It is a huge honor. A huge honor. Yeah.
That's wonderful. And so you also released Liberia, Our Land this year. So
Hmm.
what was your inspiration for that song? What was the story that you were trying to tell us with that song?
Quite often when we as Liberian talk about Liberia, we only look at what's going wrong with Liberia. I don't care how bad a person can be. There's some good things about that person. So I was like, I think it's time that, I tell people that Liberia is a beautiful place. Liberians are beautiful people. We got good heart. There are a lot of good things in Liberia that the world need to know about. So that's how that song came about. But then when I was thinking about it, I also wanted some of the original drums, from Liberia, from the different tribes. So I started doing my research, looking for those drums. So if you listen to the song, you will hear a whole lot of different drums in the song. And that's really how it came about. I just wanted to tell people this is Liberia, this is how beautiful it is. These are some of the nice things we do, and this is how nice Liberians are, and that's really what I'm saying in that song.
Oh, that's beautiful. And so, moving on to just the music industry in general, um, we can see that, especially in the Liberian music industry, that there are more male entertainers than female entertainers. So, has that posed a challenge for you?
Yeah, the industry in general, it's not just limited to Liberia. It's a male dominant industry, and it's a huge challenge because as a female, first of all, in our society, when people look at you, they see you as a sex object instead of what you are capable of. And being in an industry like entertainment industry is very challenging. But one thing I told myself years ago, um, in Liberia, when I try to come up with an album, is like, you go to the studio, you don't have the money, and people want to, misuse you, whatever, to get. But I told myself that I would never do that. If it's gonna take me 20 years to put out my song, then that's what I'm gonna do. And I would stand by my word because I want for other girls and other young girls growing up to know that you can do it without letting someone abuse your body. So my platform had always been a self-sponsored platform, only because of that. Because there are sponsors that will want to sponsor you, but they will want to misuse your body to before they do that. And I can never do that. And I encourage all young girls, to stand up for themselves that way.
Awesome. And so I believe last year you launched a program entitled Gender Inequality
Hmm.
in the Entertainment Industry,
Yeah.
in 2018. So, what was that about and what did it entail? What were you guys able to accomplish?
Well, just like what we just talked about. Once again, me being a female in the industry, I know how hard it been for me. So just wanted to create some awareness out there, and which I continue to do. Just letting girls and women know that you can do it by yourself. You don't need someone abusing you to get your career to where it need to be. And just also letting them know that the guys know that, look here, women too can be producers, we can be videographers, we can be designers, just, and we got the talent. So go past the look and look at the talent. So that's what that campaign was about. And we continue to speak on it.
So, just along the lines of women empowerment, who are some other female artists that you've worked with in the past, and who would you like to work with in the future?
um well, up to now, I have not really. I've reached out. I reached out to a lot of females. I have not been able to work with anyone yet, but I've not give up on that. I still try to reach out whenever I can. I'm hoping that I will be able to work with some other female artists as far as that goes.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
What do you think maybe would be the reservation or the lack of response from the other artists or their management teams?
I just think that as Liberians in general, um, I don't know if I don't even know what to call it. Um, Sometimes I feel like it's a lot of people say envy. I really think it's insecurity because because sometimes when people do stuff, I don't I look beyond what just happened. You get what I'm saying? Because I always feel like there is some kind of underlying problem. So I just feel like most of it will be insecurity, but they people don't normally know how to like relate to other people, and they don't want to ask questions either. So it's not that sometimes they don't want to, it just because of the insecurity. That's how I look at it. A lot of people call it envy and jealousy. I don't think so.
Okay, that's fair. Do you think at all maybe that they shy away from the fact that you do traditional music and maybe they, do more modern music that they.
Yeah, that is the entire industry. Actually, I really don't talk about it because I don't pay people no mind. For some reason they almost like X me out, you know what I mean? Because I do traditional music. Apparently nowadays you're not supposed to do traditional anything, because our people think when you say culture or country is someone that don't know anything, so they don't want to associate with that. You know, but I don't. Again, like I said, when people do things like that, I look beyond that. So I don't hold it against them or anything because I just see it as lack of education. Like if people were educated on what culture and tradition is, they will accept someone who want to embrace their culture and tradition.
Right. And so, outside of maybe gender inequality, what other challenges have you seen in the industry? I guess specifically the Liberian music entertainment industry.
Okay, yeah, for our industry, mostly we are lacking the marketing aspect of, you know, what we do. And I guess Liberians don't see entertainment to be a huge part of our society, so they don't invest into that. And even if there's someone to invest into it, the artists and managers don't know the marketing aspect of it, because we as Liberian, we do not research. And this, I'm just gonna put it out there, we don't research, we don't want to ask questions. We feel like, we made it all. Liberian just relaxed people, like they don't they don't have that drive for something, like I really want this, I'm gonna push to get this, you get what I'm saying? So mostly that's what we like in the marketing aspect of it. And I just put out, I think it was a short video that I did. I'm like, okay, this is 2020, we about to get in. Something have to change. We've been in the same spot for years, just like circling and circling, nothing happening, like it's getting boring. It's time that we step up. So do whatever you have to do as an entertainer, so that we can move this thing forward. Because the thing is, one person cannot do it. So we all can just do our little part to get it to where it needs to be.
And I guess speaking on the Liberian music industry and lack of marketing, I'll say something that I have noticed. Oftentimes, once I hear a song, it's already been out for a while, so it's like I'm late.
Mm-hmm,
So I don't know about it. And
mm-hmm,
as active as I may be on social media, I don't see it. So, something that I noticed just within the entertainment industry here in the US,
mm-hmm,
when it's let's say a singer and they have an album coming out,
mm-hmm,
I will see them on so many different TV shows or media outlets. Whether it's the different radio stations and they sometimes post their videos on
mm-hmm,
YouTube, or the different shows across the different channels, talk shows, whether it be Wendy Williams show one day and then
mm-hmm,
Jimmy Kimmel Live the next day.
mm-hmm.
You'll just see them
Yeah.
constantly. There's no way that you're gonna miss their movie coming out or their album coming out. So with that said, what does your team do when your album is coming out? Who are they reaching out to in media to make sure that we don't miss what you all are doing?
We try our best to reach out to as many platforms as possible, but our folks sometimes are just like I said, my music is not really counted among the rest. So sometimes I reach out to some of these platforms and they give me really cold shoulders. So nowadays what we do is we just do the best we can do on social media to promote what we got coming on, and things like that. Because I don't have enough time to keep chasing people, because I know what I want, I know where I need to be. And like my dad always told me, if you want something done, you get up and do it yourself. So, and again, I don't blame someone for not doing something. They don't have to do it. But again, that's some of the things that's setting our industry behind. Because like here, the people have system. Um, if you think about it, right? I just go back a little bit. Think about Nigerian for per se. Since you and I been knowing Nigerian music when it first hit the international market, they have their A-list artists, and they do the same here. They have their A-list artists that every radio station, block, whatever, gonna push. Because if you just taking everybody at the same time, we're not gonna go nowhere. So if you have a system in your industry where you like, okay, this group of musicians, they've been here, they have put in the work, they earned this. So we are gonna support them, right? All the media are gonna support these people and we're gonna push them to the world. But until we can do that, but what like this is what Liberia media does. People been in the industry that actually putting in work, that been putting in work for years. Take me out of it. Me, I don't count. Just take me out. And somebody will come out today, new artist, they put out one song and they grab it and run with it and leave everything else that is supposed to be focused on. And now that person think, oh, they made it already. They're big artists. They start insulting everyone. Disrespect is everywhere. So if we continue doing that, we are never gonna go anywhere. Never. Because you have to let the younger artists know you have to respect the people you met here for you to be respected tomorrow. But
Sure.
that's not the case with us. So if we do that, now at the end, we are just in the same circle and just going around because this person is starting all, I mean, brand new. When are you gonna prepare them to get them up there to sell to the world? And by the time like right here, you didn't even reach them there, you drop them and pick up another new artist. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So that's the position we in. But until Liberians, entertainers, like the stakeholders can actually sit back and think about these things and put personal feelings aside, we're just gonna be in the same spot. But 2020, I refuse to do that. So
Wonderful. Um, and so then I guess something else that I hear often coming from artists that are based in the diaspora is just a disconnect between diaspora artists and artists and media institutions based in Liberia.
it's,
How would you say your feedback is, or the cooperative environment is in Liberia, especially since you went there last year? Were radio stations open to meeting with you, interviewing you, promoting you? What was that like?
well, yeah, I do. Last year, I didn't really do interviews and stuff. I went to do my music videos. And it's true, there's a huge disconnect. And it go back to, what I said earlier. Honestly, I would say it just go back to insecurity because it's like, okay, normally Liberians do that. Okay, yeah, I heard Daniela is coming here today. Well, she thinks she's better than anybody, but me, I'm here, I'm ready for her, kind of thing. So instantly, without even meeting you, I already built that wall. You get what I'm saying? So there's no way I'm gonna be able to break that. I'm already defending myself without you even doing anything. So that's the kind of behavior that go on back home. So for me, since 2018, my not the last trip, the trip before that, because it's like we've been trying to like put this thing together and make it work. I decided personally I was just gonna, step back and let everybody be do their own thing and focus on my platform and do the things I need to do to get it to where, because I'm not gonna be in this body for forever to do the things I need to do. I have a mission and I have to go on that mission and complete it. So I just decided to step back. I know it's not the best way to think it over, but it's like you try so many times to, educate people or bring people together and it just never worked, and yeah, there is a huge disconnect. And that's why sometimes you see me, I jokingly tell people I'm in my own industry. I'm an independent Liberian artist, but I have my own industry, you know.
And that said, also, do you know if your music is being played on radio stations in Liberia right
See that
now?
that's one thing with me though. I don't. So I'm one person who believes in my work speaking for itself. I don't ever reach out to DJs and say, "Oh, could you please play my music?" It's not because I feel like if my work is out there and everybody that follow me, they find my work, they love it because I want you to believe in what you see. I'm not gonna come to you and beg you, oh Danetta, my music is really good. Can you? Because I'm not so much about that. It's about the message in it. So if you get it, you get it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't yeah, sometimes they play my music, people reach out to me and like, oh yeah, they're playing this song, but that's not my focus. That is really not my focus point. So I don't want to say I don't care. That's not the right word, but I don't just focus on that at all. Yeah.
Okay. So, I guess shifting gears back to talking about female empowerment and sometimes the challenges that women face. About a year ago, it came out that you alleged that a popular Liberian male artist
Mhm.
sexually harassed you or
Mhm.
was just inappropriate with you.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, you can talk about that if you like. If not, we can move on. Is that what made you come out with that information?
Well, um, initially, I thought maybe it was just something that he did because he was around me. But when I started seeing all these different stories, and if I say that I stand up for women, and I'm sitting here and this happened to me and I don't talk about it, then what that make me? So that's why I came out and I spoke on it, at the time. Yeah.
And so, what is the status of that situation? Did you pursue any legal action or?
What that wasn't my what I've been hoping for was for this individual to come out and apologize to these young women, at least realize that what he did was wrong. That's really what I think we all um been hoping for. Because for someone to disrespect you, violate your space and all of that, it's not something that most women want to talk about. A lot of people mind and is not prepared for that. It's hard. It's really hard for a woman to come out and talk about something like that happened to them, because sometimes the rest of the world, society, look at you differently. But so me speaking out was really for other women, hoping that this person will come out and at least apologize to some of these women, but that have not happened yet. But at least we were able to put the word out there. So yeah.
And that said, also, what I noticed around that time was that there was a lot of backlash from the community, especially women, surprisingly, shaming you
Mhm.
and accusing you and others of
Mhm.
trying to take down somebody's career. What was
Mhm.
that like, and how did you deal with it?
You know, it's not. It wasn't strange to me. I was born, raised in Liberia, and one second. And most often in situation like that, where you will see a young girl being raped or abused, when they talk about it, even the family will turn against you. You get what I'm saying, right? So it's, and again, I keep saying this. Those women, I don't get mad at them for one reason. And then I think about it. The women my age, we went to school. Every day we had to run. We'll be in class today, they're shooting, and we have to run.
Mm,
And then we ran. Some of us started having kids in the bushes. You get what I'm saying? So there's a lot of damaged Liberian people around my age who are adult now that having kids and grandkids. A lot of us are damaged people.
mm,
Some of us just having to be blessed to self-educate ourselves on these things to get stronger and stronger. Sometimes I still cried about things just not on camera. So there's a lot of damaged women out there. And when you've been hurt so much, the only thing you know is hurt. You don't know anything else. You get what I'm saying? So I don't get mad when these women go on social media and then they say, "Oh, I stand with this person that just abused or molested a child or another woman," and then you stand there and say, "Oh, I stand with this person," without even thinking about it. But that's because their mind is so messed up. And so I always say there's a whole bunch of underlying problems. And until we can deal with those underlying problems, this is not going anywhere. We keep trying to fix things on the surface. It's not gonna work. People got to go deeper than just that. Yeah, there was a lot, even up to now. I still see women out there, when things like that happen, they go, "Oh, I stand with this person, and if I why this," and back home, the sometimes your mom or auntie will tell you, "Oh, you were wrong for wearing your skirt." Just because you wore a skirt and walk past your uncle, so your uncle, he's right to touch you. So if somebody like that grow up and now having kids and see situation like this, what else you think they're gonna say?
right.
So that's the problem that we are having, Daniela. That's really what it is. But until people can really go deeper than what it is, I don't know.
Wow, well, you're really strong, and I watched you and others through that situation, and hats off to you guys for dealing with it maturely, and not lashing out at the
Mm-hmm.
people getting upset with the victims.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, thank you for that, for your show of courage and strength. Okay. And then I also, want to talk about the awards and accolades that you've received. That's kind of, proof that you are putting in the work, that you're working hard, and people can see that. So you recently won the Hollywood African Prestigious Award, or HAPA Award, in the category of Cultural and Traditional Singer-Songwriter. So what was it like winning the award, and did you feel any sort of validation when you won that award?
Um, I wouldn't say I felt validated. It felt good that being a Liberian once again, because I feel like most of the things that people talk about from Liberia, um or on platform like that, it's hard to consider Liberians. So just being a Liberian and calling me on that stage to represent Liberia among so many different African countries and even Hollywood stars, that just it meant a lot. I that made me feel like, okay, people are looking at the work that I'm doing, that people are paying attention and gave me the courage to just do more.
Great. Um, and so, just to give everyone an understanding of what the HAPA Awards are, who were some other, really big name artists or entertainers that were present for the award show?
Oh boy, I am so bad with names. I know the lady, the producer for Love and Hip Hop, she was there.
Mona Scott Young.
Yeah, and one of the ladies on there, what her name? She and I, Amina
Okay.
and I hang out, and what her name? Vivica Fox. She was one of the hosts. She was there, and there was a whole bunch of lot of Hollywood stars. I'm just not good with names,
Okay.
and yeah, it was a big event, kind of hard to get to everybody, but yeah.
Hmm, okay. And so, that's the HAPA Awards. Do you feel that you've also been given your due respect in the Liberian industry from like Liberian Entertainment Awards or the Liberian Music Awards or Tunes Liberia Awards?
Well, um, I don't, I don't know if it's something I really want to speak on, but maybe I should. I just, um, like, okay, this year I know a lot of people were asking me because I told the Liberian Music Award that I didn't want to participate.
Mm,
I feel like it's always going back to being a female in the industry. They will either put you with female that, female this, or female that. So it's like you are never good enough to win other awards. Or since I do traditional music, that's the only award I'm supposed to get. I'm not a good they cannot look at me as a good artist, good songwriter, or good video, but I am only a traditional or my artist. So to me, I'm like, okay, maybe I'm just one person. Like even if you were my close friend, right? Because my career means so much to me. You don't have interest in it, we are still going to be close. We're just not going to talk about it. So if you don't respect what I do, I just don't want us to have any conversation about, let's just leave it alone. You get what I'm saying?
yeah.
So and there where I stand with that. Like I just and that's why I do my own thing. And I'm grateful that other people outside of the Liberian entertainment see that, like HAPA Award and I think 2018 Site TV Award, they
Mhm.
recognized me also. Yeah, so I just don't want to talk about it with them, don't want to be bothered with that. Yeah.
So basically, if your own can appreciate you, you're welcome to be appreciated in other circles and other
Yeah.
environments.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's almost like every successful Liberian that I've seen, they have to break out of that, like out of the whole Liberian thing to be able to be successful and recognized out there to the rest of the world.
Mm,
Yeah.
okay. And then also on your list of accolades and accomplishments, I did see that you posted that your album, Country Girl, was selected out of hundreds of albums to be placed on the state of Minnesota Library website.
Yeah.
So congratulations on that, and tell us about that and what that means.
Yeah. Once again, just like how Pa reached out to me in my inbox, um, I I get a inbox on my Miss Menneh page that they really like my work and they would like for me to submit it, so that they can see if they could put it on the website. And I was super excited, and we submitted the work, 20 and I, and the people went. It was hundreds of album, and they went through it, and our album, was one of them,
Mhm.
and went through the legal paperwork and everything. And yeah, so the Country Girl album is out there on the Minnesota library website. So that's very exciting for me and my team in Liberia, I hope. Yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So this on their website, it's artists who are from Minnesota or living in Minnesota.
Yeah, they wanted 100 local Minnesota artists.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. Because then it spotlights Liberian culture in the mix of the
Yes,
Minnesota culture,
yes.
um, because the Liberian community is a big part of,
So
North
that, yeah,
Minnesota.
yeah, yeah, it is. It is. Yeah.
Great. And so, with everything we spoke on, what do you aspire to next? And like what does a successful career look like for you?
Um, for me, I I just want Liberians, like our younger generation, like I told you, like somebody like me, right, was running through the war. Now I have my own children. We left the country, and like so many others left Liberia, went to different countries, some are in the US. Our children, even some of us, don't really know the Liberian culture. So what would be a successful career for Miss Menneh would be um maybe having a platform where um our young people are being educated on what our culture look like, how to experience the culture, how to appreciate who they are, where they come from, and just things like that. I think that will make me feel accomplished.
Okay. And so you mentioned that you have children. So what would you want your children to be able to say when they look back on their mother's career? What is important to you about your legacy, especially as it relates to your children?
Yeah, and that's one thing I always say. I always say, I know people, they say legacy. I always say my story. What my story will be like. That's something I think about every day through what I do. I just want my kids to know that whatever you put your mind to, you can do it. Woman or not woman, you can do whatever you put your any human being can do on this earth. You can do it, and also being able to know that um, for you to feel fulfilled, you need to make other people's life better. Because you can get all the money in the world and sit with it, you're not gonna feel better about yourself. Maybe some people do, but I feel like just making impact on somebody else's life will make you feel, fulfilled. So those are some of the things that I would want them to know about their mom.
Okay. And so, do you aspire to enter any other areas of entertainment, like acting or anything like that?
Yeah, I've thought about it many times. In fact, when I growing up, that was one of the things I really wanted to do so bad. But I want to do movies that um would suit me, something that I would be happy doing, just like I do my music. Something that I'm able to tell my story through. So I'm still looking forward to that. I know I was just talking to Miley about that. I'm like, we need to do some movies and things like that. Yeah, so I'm looking at branching out into showcasing myself into some movie this 2020. And I also, because I noticed that people I like, the clothes that I wear and stuff. So I want to also come up with a clothing line, and I'm hoping to be able to launch that on my birthday, 2020, July 24th. It's called a Country Girl clothing line. Just so like, just wearing some really nice African clothes and letting our kids get used to it, to just know that you can wear that anywhere and look beautiful in it. Yeah,
Okay, so acting and fashion in the
yeah,
future for Miss Money.
yeah.
Wonderful. Um, so tell us about your latest music project, and how can we purchase it? When should we expect it? So what's up next for you?
Oh yeah, so we have this new song coming up. I know it's gonna be by Christmas. It's gonna be dropped. I released the cover art today. It's out there. It's called Mama Liberia. And I don't think I ever been so happy about any project that I put out. Um I'm so happy that I'm putting out that song because it's a message that I wanted to send out, and I'm grateful that I was able to do that. And the reason I'm really happy is the song is really special because, like, you see the cover art there is really different from any other cover art that I've ever put out. It was handmade by my daughter. She's a artist herself, and then the song itself, the drums, the guitars, the just the whole production of it, everything is going to be live. They play the guitars are going to be played live, no digital anything. So it's very organic, the song. So I'm just excited about that, just speaking, sending out the message I want to send, and with all these amazing people surrounding me helping to do that, I'm just grateful about that. And it is going to be on all digital platform. It's gonna be released on YouTube, and then everybody can share the link from there. But you can buy it on Amazon, CD Baby, iTunes, just all the digital platform is gonna be on there. Yeah, so it will be released very soon because we got how many days to Christmas now? Two
Yeah.
days, 3 days. Yeah, so we're hoping that it will be out by Christmas.
Okay.
Yeah,
And what was the name of that again?
it's called Mama Liberia.
Okay. And what's the story you'll be talking or telling us in that song?
Um, so far, just talking about, how Liberians, we are very good at sitting back and blaming everyone else but ourselves. So I'm just pretty much saying that, it's time that we get up and do something for ourselves instead of waiting for saviors to come. That is never gonna happen. um you have to stand up for yourself in this world. That's really what it is. No one have your best interest other than yourself. So if you want change, you have to be that change. Because our kids are just being raped every day, and like every time you get up, someone being raped and killed, and it just it's terrible. So I mean, it's time that we start to punish those that doing that, like actual punishment. You punish one or two people, they're not gonna, it's gonna go down. But I feel like there's nothing being done. It's like everybody is waiting for someone to come and do these things for us. It don't happen that way. We have to do it as Liberians.
Okay. And so outside of buying your music, how else can we support Miss Menneh to help her brand to grow and help her name to get out there? What else can we do besides buying the music?
Besides buying the music, I just always ask, because it's like the way the industry is set up now, it's like a number game. So we encourage people to subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the link to friends and family, do the same with the Facebook. Sometimes you don't even have to buy anything, just do that because the numbers matters nowadays. That's really what the industry is about. The more numbers you got, the more successful you are. So we encourage people to do that. Just share the link, share, share, share. It don't cost anything to share. Just please share. And we have a lot of people that have been supporting and doing that, and I'm very grateful, and I appreciate everyone.
Okay, what's the name of the YouTube channel and your different, whether Facebook, Instagram pages? What's that information?
Yeah, everything is gonna be under this name right here, Miss Menneh. Is MZMENNEH.
Mhm.
Um, and this is the latest album. It's called Country Girl. It's also on there. So you go to YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. It's all gonna be that name right there, Miss Menneh. Yeah.
And I would also encourage everyone out there that if you do, purchase a single or the album on whatever digital media platform, definitely leave a review.
Yes. Yes. Please, please, please do. And if you have a little bit of time, you can even screenshot the receipt, send it to me so that I'll be able to say thank you personally. I like to go back and say thank you to every single person, that support me because they don't have to do it. They take off that time to do it, and I appreciate that.
Great. And so, before we leave, what are your final thoughts or anything else that you want to share with us?
Well, I just want to say thank you so much, Focus on Liberia, for always, bringing the best from Liberia on the show. I watch the show sometimes. I may not say anything, but I watch. And want to say thank you to my team. I want to say thank you to Tony D for everything he has put in for the past years, and also Miss Menneh have a surprise. I actually have more team members, and we're gonna be announcing that maybe on New Year's Day. Letting everybody know what the Miss Menneh team look like now, because in 2020 we have to change some things around here. And I
Mhm.
just want to encourage all the new artists coming up. It's not an easy journey, but it's doable. And obviously we still here, so you can do it. You just have to believe in yourself. There's no one who believe in you than you do, so just know that. And thank my entire team. Thank Sis Miata, Malia, Julia, Samrika, Victoria. I love them, so much. They always like those are my backbones, and I'm very grateful.
Oh, that's wonderful. And also, one comment, I don't see it anymore, but someone was encouraging you to still try to promote your music and share it with radio stations and DJs. And I'll also just piggyback on that and encourage you to do the same. Like I said, even some of the biggest of stars, Denzel Washington, we know he's an amazing actor. When his movies come out, we see him doing the media run. He's
Mhm.
going out there to promote, whatever movie he's in. So even though we know your work is amazing, still promote it, still share it, whether
Mhm.
they play it at a party or play it on a radio station, that's up to them. But definitely reach out, do that.
Okay. All right, I agree with you guys. We're still gonna do that, and that's why we have this new amazing team together, and we about to hit 2020 like a storm, and run with it. So thank you guys for the advice. We're gonna take that into consideration, and actually we'll start from Mama Liberia. So we're gonna reach out to all the platform that we can reach out to the DJs before we release Mama Liberia, so that it will be out there because it's a good song. I will actually hope that Liberians will actually play and listen to it to parties and whatever the case may be.
Wonderful. So we look forward to hearing that. Definitely share it with our platform. We like to play, music when we start generally. So please share it with us. We'll be happy to promote it on this platform as well. So Miss Mene, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for being here. It's been a pleasure having this conversation with you. You've been, very transparent and open with us, and I appreciate that. Okay,
Thank you so
and
much.
you're welcome, and we'll be happy to have you again when you on your next project, or ready for your next big thing. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, Donella. And thank you to the whole Focus on Liberia team for setting this up. And thank you again to my team. I appreciate you guys. Thank you to my kids. They are like my biggest supporters, and I'm grateful for that. Yeah. So thank you again, Daniela. It was a nice conversation. And yeah, I look forward to having another conversation with you one of these days.
Great. And for our viewers, we will be back at 6 o'clock. We will have some people to talk about the DED um, law that was put into action here in the U.S. that will allow DED holders to get green cards and then have a passage towards citizenship. So please join us at 6 p.m. Eastern. So that is in about 2 hours. All right. And so we'll close with one of Miss Menneh's songs, Liberia, Our Land. And thank you for joining us.